Hello and welcome to The United Man. My name is Shane. Can Bruno Fernandes save Solskjaer?
The mic, make your show productive tight.
Interesting question, I know. The reason I'm posing this question is because I believe Bruno Fernandes is world class. I believe the capabilities that he's shown at Sporting for Portugal and his short time at Manchester United, he's displaying world-class capabilities, both on the field and off the field. By that I mean he's a leader. Off the field, he's a leader. He's evident that he's confident in his ability. He's confident in that he knows what he's talking about. He's confident in his own aptitude and attitude. When you see him on the pitch, he's orchestrating. He's not only being a menace on the ball against the opposition, he's shown his own teammates where to be. He's shown his own teammates where he wants to receive the ball and in what position. The fact that he came in, played one game, and then went away to Spain on warm weather training with the rest of the squad, I think was absolutely fantastic and absolutely crucial for his integration into the squad. Now, the reason I pose the question, can Bruno be the saviour, is purely because I believe if we do not finish inside the top six, if we don't finish in a European position, a European place for next season, I believe Ollie will lose his job, and rightfully so. I understand we're in the midst of a rebuild. I understand the fact that we're a work in progress. I understand that we're inexperienced. However, all that being said, you've got to put aside the fact that we're a massive club. I don't think so. I think there's still standards that are still yet to be kept. I think that we should be still reaching for Champions League. I still believe that we should be still looking to play European football. Finishing outside of European place for me is unacceptable. And I understand that Woodward and whoever else on the board has given Ollie the backing. Brilliant, fine. But there's still respect. There's still the fact that we are a massive club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. We have to still keep that in mind. We can't be falling by the wayside and falling out of Europe altogether. Not acceptable for me. So for me, if it was to finish outside of European place, for me, Ollie would have to go. I know Max Allegri is chomping at the bit. I know Pochettino is chomping at the bit. And I'm sure there's a whole host of other potential Manchester United managers waiting in the wings to see what happens with Ollie. Now, I'd like to say that getting rid of Ollie would be a bad idea. I don't believe it would, purely because of the personnel that we have in place already. I feel as though we should have a club ethos, not trying to adhere to every single different manager that comes in place. That's what we did with David Moyes. That's what we did with Van Gaal. And that's what we did with Jose Mourinho. I know as much as there is turmoil at Barcelona at the moment, the way they work is they have a club ethos. And it's filtered through from top to bottom. They have an ethos that they play a certain way of football and bring in a certain type of player. That way, whatever the manager they bring in has to implement that into the players. Now, we're not far off. I hear you all saying, yeah, we're 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Currently, after the Watford game, we're sitting 5th position, a few points behind Chelsea. But obviously, there's only a couple of points between. I think there's 5 points between Chelsea and 4th, and maybe I don't know if it's Sheffield United or Spurs in 8th position or whatever the case may be. Point is, there's no gap separating us, and for us to achieve what we need to, have to be in Europe for next season. For us to attract the certain players that we want to and need to, we have to be in Europe next season. I believe, like Pogba did when he first arrived, that the players will tolerate one season outside of Champions League football at worst. But we've got to be in the Champions League, man. I feel that for us to really, really press home the fact that we're still a force to be reckoned with, we've got to be in European football. You know, I've said before, the fact that Rashford and Pogba are injured, and yes, we brought Bruno in, that it'd be very hard to get top 4. But I feel like the teams in and around us, Sheffield United, Tottenham, Wolves, Spurs, I believe they'll drop points. So it'd be Chelsea, obviously, who are above us immediately. It'll be interesting to see, but I feel like all the other teams will be dropping points. So that being said, if we can get some consistency in terms of, 4 wins and a draw, 3 wins and a draw, I think that'll be enough. I think there's 11 games left of the season. So we've got to be on form, man. For us to really get anywhere near Champions League, we've got to be on form, got to stay on form. And we need Chelsea to drop points. We need those behind us to be dropping points because the pressure's on. We cannot afford to slip. So losses may be out of the question. If there is losses, we can possibly only afford 1 because I believe all the rest of the teams, including Chelsea around us, will lose 1. Ultimately, though, Bruno, I think, will get us into European football. By that I mean, at worst, Europa League. So if that's the case, then I believe Ollie's job will be saved. Is that a good thing? Long term? Possibly not. Possibly not. Because Ollie doesn't have that draw or in terms of getting certain players to come to the club to play for the manager like Solskjaer, like Mourinho did. Like, for example, Giggs, I believe, would have that draw on players. Players would want to come to Manchester United just to play on the Ryan Giggs, I believe. Such is his legendary status. So, I'd like to see that to be the case. Do I think we'll get top 4? I think we'll just miss out. I'd love to be wrong. Trust me, I'd love to be wrong, but I feel like we'll just miss out. So, to bring to a close, I feel like to the season, I think to bring the season to a close, I feel like we'll finish in the top 6. Do we finish in Champions League spot? Maybe not. I feel like Maguire and Bailly will playing together will give us more of an opportunity as well more than Lindelof and Maguire. I'd like to see that a lot more, but Bruno Fernandes, for me, has brought that touch of world class. The fact that we've lost Pogba to injury, whether he's, I don't know, what the situation is with him, but Rashford's out for the rest of the season, I believe. We probably need to add a central defensive midfielder, specialist guy, better than Matic, or a possession playing central midfielder to play alongside Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes will get us so far. We'll possibly need another winger. If Martial can't turn into that 25 or 20 league goal a season guy, 30 goal a season guy, then I feel like we'll need another striker as well. Remains to be seen. Don't forget to get involved in the comments. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything Manchester United. And I'll see you next one. Take care.